Hello everybody, Python here, and this is going to be my quick, brief, spoiler-free review of the Super Mario movie that just came out last week. So it's been a couple days and I've been pondering on my thoughts, and yeah, I absolutely enjoyed the Mario movie. It was a complete joy to watch from the beginning to the end. It looked very pretty and incredible. The characters had many nice interactions and dialogue. The characters themselves were very fun. The VAs did a good job for the most part. Yes, even Chris was fine, and I'll get to that a bit more later. The OST was a complete banger. It was fan service galore, like so much fan service was put into this movie, and I feel like my initial worries were almost alleviated, and I'll get that in a bit. So I'll start with talking about my worries for the film. One of my worries was Peach and how the movie was portraying her. So basically in those initial trailers, a lot of people were put off by how different she was from the games. She was being portrayed as some kind of like girl boss that's some kind of girl boss that does all and seems like she kind of looks down on Mario and stuff. And I'll admit I was one of the ones that was pretty hesitant on Peach because she just didn't resonate with me from the trailers that I saw. But I don't know, in the end I actually liked her a bit more than I thought I was going to. Yeah, the trailer made her seem like she might be a bit generic with the trope of the girl boss, but I don't know. I actually did love her like flair, spunk, and cuteness as she showed up, and I actually kind of saw her as more of like a caring teacher. Like, she looked over Mario, she cared for him. Sure, she kind of made a little small quip here or there, but she generally was there to help him through, and she really did want his help. They were on equal terms. Yeah, she still did things on her own, but not like, oh, it was just like all her. No, it was still the Mario movie. He still did save the day, and not that there's anything wrong that she should have, but I would expect that Mario would have been doing the work, and he did. And I liked their dynamic. I liked that they had a bunch of heart-to-hearts, and I did like her little backstory that she was giving, and a bit more background on her, and I don't know, the heart-to-hearts that she had with Mario was very sweet. So I like her more than I initially thought, and her voice actually good. I felt like the one that voiced her did name is escaping me, but I think she did a alright job at portraying like a royalty spunky princess with also having like a very womanly and strong voice. So moving on, my second worry was with the handle of the quote origin story or isekai story. For the most part, I felt like it did its job well. It wasn't out of this world. It was just like mostly Mario stumbled onto the already ensuing plot that's going on between the Mushroom Kingdom and Bowser. Like, he pretty much just like kind of gets involved in the middle of it and goes along for the ride. But I'll admit, it sometimes felt like he wasn't really needed, but even then, it did what it did. It's nothing to write home, to like, no like huge awards or anything, but it did its job. It suffice. So that's fine. My third worry was with Chris Pratt as Mario. And you know what? I actually thought he sounded good. I feel sorry for having given Chris such a hard time during the initial reveal trailers and all that stuff, hearing his lines. They actually cut out that one line I really did not like, where he goes like, "Mushroom Kingdom, here we come," or something like that. That wasn't actually in the film. Actually, a whole lot of like the dialogues and scenes that were in the trailers were kind of edited out and stuff, which is very surprising and actually did the film a lot of favors, especially in Mario's case. But yeah, he proved me wrong, and I feel like he really did sell me on the Mario is just some regular Joe. He's just a guy from Brooklyn, and he just has some job, some passion, and he's just a guy. And I don't know, I felt like Chris's Mario did sell me on that, honestly. My fourth worry was with Luigi's involvement in the story. This is that one that sadly I feel like it didn't really go my way. Although it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, so he still did get shafted, but they gave him a nice moment. I won't say anything, but they gave him a nice moment near the end, and it kind of made up for it. But I still wish that they had given him more time, and that in the first place he wouldn't have been the one to have gotten kidnapped and sidelined off of the story, since it's the Mario Brothers movie. But that's an issue I'll touch on in a second. And my final worry was about the writing quality and style, because it's Illumination, and we all knew this is pretty much the people's biggest worry besides Chris Pratt Mario. And yeah, they delivered, certainly. The characters were great: Mario, Luigi, their family, Spike, which it wasn't perfect. I kind of wish I'll touch on the reason on that in a bit too, but Spike, a little shaky on that. Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Kamek, and the army, all were enjoyable and made me smile and gave me plenty of laughs. So now I'll talk about things in general. So I said the thing about Luigi, Peach not having enough time to be able to... Peach with the backstory and her characterization, Luigi not having enough time. I felt like Bowser also needed a bit more time as well to shine. That has to do with the 90-minute runtime of the film. I felt like it was just not enough, and it made the movie feel rushed. This is like the big first con, and it's the movie was not long enough. I felt like if it had at least been like a half hour longer, it could have given each of the characters several more minutes of time to be able to expand further and give them more screen time and further solidifying their characterization and progression. And it probably would have given Luigi more time. Maybe even not have him get sidelined the entire movie, who knows. But yeah, it made the movie feel rushed in certain points and didn't give the characters enough time to shine at times. So that's a really big issue of the movie, is not being long enough. Another thing was that I wasn't as big a fan on the licensed music. The music that they chose, for the most part, except like one song that I just did not like at all. But the rest, I love the music. And some of them did fit the context of the scene, but I honestly just much preferred when they used actual like arrangements of like Mario songs. Even Luigi's Mansion was used, Odyssey was used, music was used, and yeah, the licensed music was kind of a hit or miss for me in certain points, but that's not that big a deal. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for the cons. It was just like the duration time, and some of the music was a bit of a miss when the licensed stuff. Peach was still kind of shaky for me. Oh no, there's another one. So Cranky. Cranky I felt like was the weakest person for me in the film, because while I think his mannerisms and attitude are there and resemble like his actual character, I feel like the voice just didn't really portray that at all. That's just me. Some people I see like Cranky in his voice. I personally was not that much of a fan. I think he has the weakest voice in the cast, right next to probably Peach. And let's get to the characters. So the characters, Bowser, of course, was the best. Jack Black did a fantastic job as him. Although at some points it really just did sound like Jack Black was just being Jack Black. So not perfect, but still very enjoyable performance. Especially the sing. I won't say anything, but especially some things that he did in the film were very enjoyable. Charlie Day as Luigi, he knocked it out of the park too. Not as good as Bowser's, but he really did also encapsulate Luigi in a really good way. What was I touched on? Kamek, honestly, one of the best voice works. Kamek blew me away. He did such a good job on doing the voice for Kamek, and Kamek in general in the movie was pretty great. And another thing was that one general that you guys saw in the trailer. Actually, a great character. When you see it, you'll absolutely love that guy. Also needed more screen time, in my opinion. That's just another issue with the runtime. Actually, I forgot to say another worry of mine with Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. I don't know. I feel like Seth was like an oddity where he was pretty much kind of almost himself, but it actually worked. And yeah, he did his dumb little laugh at some point, which irritated me a bit, but it fit the context of the scene. And honestly, he did bring a good amount of personality and gave a bunch of great lines to Donkey Kong. And Donkey Kong in general was a great character, especially when he was interacting with Mario a bunch. They had a great dynamic, and I actually want to see more of that, like the movie versions of them interacting more. And if there's any more movies in the future, these two definitely need to interact more, because again, I love their dynamic, and there was them interacting with some of my favorite parts of the film. So Donkey Kong was a definite plus as a great character in the film too. But let's see, another thing, the soundtrack that they use, fantastic. So many little nuances and references in the music itself. The way they used it to subtly describe and flow with a whole bunch of the little actions that the characters did in transitions, did a fantastic job. The sound design was great with all the Mario sound effects. It wasn't overly overdone, but also wasn't underutilized. They did like a good amount. The world itself is so vibrant and pretty. It was all so gorgeous. Even the Brooklyn stuff at the beginning, so well done. Like the characterizations, the character designs, the colors used, the environments, all so pretty and gorgeous. So unlike now. Okay, so Illumination Studios can be a bit hit or miss when it comes to their designs. They completely knocked it out of the park in this movie. Like, it did not feel like an Illumination Studio movie. Maybe in the beginning it did a bit with some of the human characters, but after that, when they go into the Mushroom Kingdom, not at all. It just felt so different. But yeah, so that's that. What else I need to touch on? Oh, the references. So the references, I noticed so many, and it made the kid in me, like, it made the child in me come out again so gleefully watching it. I noticed a whole bunch, like Ice Climber, Punch Out stuff, Star Fox, F-Zero, Kid Icarus. So much non-Mario stuff was referenced, to my surprise. There was even a Pikmin reference too, which don't know if I'm gonna show that, but yeah, there is also a Pikmin reference as well, which, you know, me being it being my favorite thing ever, was so happy that I got to learn that that was there. Didn't catch it the first time. I needed to see a screenshot from somebody else to see that, but the references were great. They also weren't overly done. They were like very nice spread out, mostly in the beginning and mostly in the end, kind of scarce in the middle, which was kind of a nice balance to everything. And yeah, I think I touched on everything in the movie. I think Illumination Studios and Nintendo got together and they made a fantastic film, in my opinion. Very enjoyable, especially if you're a Mario fan. It is a treat for the fans. The fan service is so there. The characters are all fun for the most part. The music is great. The visuals are super stunning. The story is basic, of course, but it still does its job, and it's still gonna be an enjoyable time regardless. And it was great. I don't really have anything else to say on the movie. That's pretty much it. With all that said, I will rate the movie 9 out of 10. I'm probably one of the ones that probably thinks a bit more highly of it than others, but I'm an easy to please guy, and the movie was a blast, and it was totally worth the wait for all those years, and I cannot wait for whenever they do a sequel. There is a post-credit scene, which I won't tell you what it is, but it is obvious that they're sequel baiting,
So it's definitely gonna happen, and I cannot wait for that. Yeah, so if you've watched the film, tell me what you guys thought. Did you like it? What did you like about it? What don't you like about it? And yeah, like, subscribe. If you liked my movie review, I wouldn't mind doing some more, but since this was video game related, I just felt like I just had to. And yeah, this was fun to record, and I'll see you guys on the next video and the next movie. Bye.